Hello guys, welcome back to ThriveBros. My name is Timek, I'm your host, and today joining me is Bartek. Welcome Bartek.
Hello, Tomek.
Okay, so today we're covering bulking and cutting, which are very important things at the gym. And I would like to ask you, when you were first time starting going to the gym, would you change your diet at that exact moment, or when did that point come when you finally started thinking more or how you should eat while going to the gym?
Okay, so I always knew that you have to eat enough protein in order to grow muscle. That was pretty obvious to me, but I didn't change my diet in a way, I'd say. I kind of focused on this protein thing, but I still ate a lot of junk food and stuff like that. And I didn't have a calorie surplus. I ate to maintain weight basically. So if I look back at it, I when I look back at it, I would definitely change that, and I would start with a bulk for sure, cause yeah, that would just give me more progress at the start.
Okay. And in simple terms, how would you explain what cutting and bulking is exactly?
Okay, so cutting is losing weight basically when you have a lower calories input. Let's say you have your in order to maintain weight, you have to eat 2700 calories. So to cut, you're gonna eat, for example, 2400. And for bulking, 300 more. So 3000. It's really dependent on, how much you need to add. It is dependent on your current weight and your physical activity level. Because someone who has a lot of cardio is gonna need to eat more, of course, to gain weight. Eat more to gain weight.
Yes, exactly. So, shortly, bulk has the purpose of increasing your mass, for those that don't know, and cut has the opposite one, so losing your fat. Bulk is mostly concentrated on gaining both the muscle mass and a bit of fat in that situation, while cutting is mostly concentrated on losing the fat. And when you're going to the gym, let's say you have a friend who started going with you, he's a bit on the fatter side, so he wants to lose his weight, but he isn't really knowledgeable about how the dieting works. Would you recommend him to still try going with the cut to actually lose this fat, or start up with a bulk?
Neither. Actually, neither. Because if you were talking about the guy who's already fatter, right, than normal person, then he already has the weight that some people would like strive to on bulk, right? So he doesn't need to bulk more. And why I wouldn't recommend him to cut is because cutting is basically showing your work, the progress you've made, the process you've gone through. So if you have no muscles built, if you're just starting at the gym, you don't have nothing to show, right? You have no muscles to show, you have no progress to show. So cutting would be just delaying your start at the gym. Because what would happen is basically you start going to the gym and you lose muscle, not muscle, and you lose mass at the same time, and you end up not making progress at all because you're basically just moving some weight, but you're losing your own calorie deficit, so you would end up not making progress at all, or making a slight progress, which what doesn't really matter. So what I would say to a guy like that is that he don't deserve a cut yet. He should be patient. He should wait this half a year or a year even, and not to cut, more like to build muscle to his body weight, to his current body weight. That's what I would do. Because if he trains fairly and consistently for this year, the muscles he make are gonna replace the body fat, kind of. Not all of it, but some of it. So he's gonna maintain body weight, but he's gonna look way better.
Yeah, exactly. And I would also say that in that situation, the only thing he needs to kind of cover is to increase his protein intake if he doesn't have a high one, and not necessarily delve into either the bulk or cut, as you have said.
Yeah, and I would also reduce sugar input. That's to all people. Like people are so addicted to sugar.
But
We all are.
exactly. Okay, so as you have said, the bulk has mostly the benefit being of increasing your mass just by adding some calories, I would say. So as you mentioned before, if your calorie intake is 2700, then you would go up by 300 or more, depending on your either dream weight or your goals, like how fast do you want it to be, how much activity you're doing, like how much you're exercising.
Yeah, I would say more like how much you're exercising, because uh, the when you're bulking, you shouldn't focus on the speed of the process, because you what you want to do. Okay, when you have bulk, you have clean bulk and dirty bulk.
Yes,
Just
I was
to
just about to ask you that. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have to.
Okay.
Okay, so dirty bulk is focused on speed. You just want to gain weight as fast as possible, which is first unhealthy, and second, you gain mostly fat. You basically don't gain muscle at all, and you just then need to change this fat into muscle, but it's harder. It's easier to eat that way, but it's harder to make progress and to actually look good during bulk, after bulk. And clean bulk will be this slight calorie surplus. So this 300, 400, when you gain approximately half of kg to 1 kg a week. This is a pretty slow pace, a consistent pace, at which you're gonna have to increase the calorie in, input intake in order to gain more weight. So if you, let's say you start from 70 kg, right? You eat 300 calories, 3000 calories, and then after, let's say, a month, you now weigh 73 kilograms. You're gonna start to gain less weight, or even stop gaining weight at this calorie input. So you're gonna have to start eating more. But you're gonna focus on this slow paced bulk, clean bulk, So you don't eat junk food, you focus on quality calories. So you eat meat, eggs, nuts, some vegetables, dairy.
Yeah, so you kind of started what I wanted to say, so that on a bulk, you have to kind of uh, think like the foods you should choose are mostly either really high in protein, like any kind of meat, fish, uh, ham, sausages, anything kind of made of meat, or you have things that are really condensed with calories. So things like nuts, things like peanut butter, which is kind of made of nuts, eggs, uh, and in some situations, oats. Although I wouldn't really recommend eating them by themselves. And on a bulk, a really popular thing many people are doing is doing the protein shake, like the 1,000 or 900 calories ones, which mostly include the things we've mentioned before. So like peanut butter or nuts, oats, some fruits for mostly for the taste rather than the actual calories. Milk, which it isn't a main thing in the bulk, I'd say. Like it, yes.
But it's healthy for, I mean, raw milk is healthy for you. That's an important thing to bear in mind.
Things like honey, which are a really, if you're, of course, if you're talking about like not homemade honey, but like one from maybe a country nearby or something like that. So not a shop bought one, but an actual honey which doesn't have many additives and is actually healthy for you. Apart from that, I don't think those kinds of shakes should include that much more. Maybe protein powders if you really are missing a lot of your protein intake. And these kinds of shakes, these kinds of foods can really help you on a bulk, I'd say, because as I've mentioned, if you're doing them not even correctly, but if you're just putting those things in like even small amounts into your shake, it will have at least like 600, 700 calories, and it could go up to 1,000 and 100, maybe even more, depending on how big your shake can be. And during a bulk, if your calorie goal is like 3,000, then having this 1,000 additional calories just off the go after you go to the gym really helps you to get this higher calorie intake, which many people, I'd say, struggle with because on a bulk you can't. It's hard for many people to just eat anytime they are able to. Like no, not many people will be hungry on that occasion, and I think that's kind of the hardest thing during a bulk to get these calories. And yeah, the liquid calories I'd say are easier for your body to digest, and yeah, it's easier for you to just get them, I'd say.
Okay, so I would like to ask you a question.
Okay.
If you were to bulk right now, would you go to, I think you are, right? You are bulking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you dirty bulk or do you clean bulk? And why?
I'd say I'd say I do a clean bulk, although there are some days on which I will eat some junk food because I'm on the city somewhere. I went out. I don't have any food at home. I don't have time to make myself anything, and that doesn't happen that often, I would say. There are just days when I just don't have any opportunity to make anything for myself, and I do a clean bulk. First of all, because I don't want to gain fat. as I don't have really a high body fat. I think it's around 14 at the moment, maybe more, maybe less. The last time I've checked was around a few weeks ago, so I'm not sure. And if I were to do a dirty bulk, I would go from the 14, 15 up to probably like 18 maybe. It would be really easy for me to gain this fat, and you shouldn't really bulk past I say around 18 body fat percentage, because after that, at least for me, it is just too much fat, and it isn't that worth it. And I'd rather do a clean bulk, not gain so much fat, still gain this muscle, and just be comfortable with what I'm eating. Because even though I like the taste of junk food, when I'm eating things like chicken and rice, when I'm eating eggs every morning, and I mean literally every morning, the same type of eggs, and then add some types of shakes after each workout, I really just like this diet. It fits me, and if I remember to do everything, if I'm not out, if I don't have to take care of something, I always do those things and I see results. The issue is that because it's vacation time, it's easy for me to not have to do something but not really be present around the house that much, and that's what's keeping me from doing all those things. But yeah, I'd say that the clean bulk is my rather preferred version. If I were to really lose weight for some reason, maybe I wouldn't eat that much, or I would exercise too much, and I would go down to, I don't know, like 60 kg, then I would maybe try doing a dirty bulk, not even for long, maybe a week max, just to like regain this mass I have lost, and then come back to clean bulking. But that's a situation I doubt would happen, and yeah, it's just like not wishful thinking.
What if?
Yeah, exactly. What if?
Yeah. Okay, so the thing with clean book, I mean dirty book, the problem that I have with that is that it always has an expiration date. So a dirty book has to end somewhere, right? You can't dirty book forever. And as soon as you end this bulk, you're gonna have to cut because you have too much fat. And during cut, it's really hard to make progress at the gym because you're constantly losing weight. So you as well are gonna lose some muscle mass. And when you're clean bulking, and I mean really slow paced clean bulk, really boring clean bulk, is gonna take you. You probably can be at a clean bulk for like 10 years because you're gonna gain like half of kilogram every week or even less. It's gonna be mostly muscle from that. And when you're not gaining that much fat from your diet, when you're only gaining muscle, you still look good, you still look aesthetic, you still look shredded, but you also gain size at the same time. So you're getting bigger, but you still have your six pack, you still have this stripes on shoulders. Yeah, you still have veins on your forearms, and you basically just gain size to what you have now.
Yeah, exactly. And you've mentioned that the period of 10 years, and that kind of reminded me that if you're just if you just started going to the gym, if you're like 16, 17, 18, and are like average build, like not really fat, not really skinny, then you should probably bulk for like even up to 20, 21, just for the reason that you'll gain this muscle and you just have no reason really to cut at that moment. Because as you said, you're not really worthy yet of the cut, you don't have this muscle. And second of all, even if you have a bit of a higher fat percentage, you're going to lose it just because first of all you're going to the gym, you're exercising, and second of all because on a clean bulk you're not gaining that much fat, and in due time, in those 2 3 years while you're still developing, you will lose this fat, not that much of it, but you will still lose it in due time and gain a lot of muscle in that time period. And I think this is like I think many people forget about that in those periods you're still developing, so just bulking will get you a lot bigger in that time period, and cutting at that moment either is, as you said, not worth it because you don't really have any muscles, or just doesn't really help you, I'd say. Because yeah, you're going to cut, you're going to look shredded, but then you're going to feel bad because you have lower fat percentage, you will be more tired on the gym, and you'll still have to bulk up after another month. So you'll be shredded for some time, lose your gains, lose your uh, like personal best on each exercise, like lose strength, and you still have to come back to the bulk. So in that moment, it's just not worth it to do the cut because
Just delay the progress.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the problem with that attitude is that yeah, you're just delaying progress. You dirty bulk, then you kinda step back, you do a few steps ahead and then you take a few back and it's like you're kinda stuck in a loop. You're making some progress, but you're not making a lot of progress. And also when you're cutting and you're natural, so you don't take any steroids, you're gonna look like you never ever touched a barbell in your life when you're in your clothes.
Yeah, I think many people don't really think of that when they are trying to cut because yeah, they're trying to cut because they have a high fat percentage, like high body fat percentage. And they're just like, yeah, I don't want this fat. I want to actually see my muscles. But at the end, it's just as you have said. You lose this fat. Yeah, you can see your muscles, but after you put on a t-shirt,
No, no one else can.
you just don't really get to actually, yeah, like this progress is kind of closed for everyone. And even for you, if you're like just waking up, looking at yourself while you're still at the t-shirt, you still look like an average kid. You still don't look exceptional. It's only after you take off your shirt, it's only after you are actually like showing off and doing things that it is visible. And this isn't really a good feeling, I'd say. You'd much rather look big while like every moment. And that really shows that you're dedicated to the gym, that you're really going there. And people can say that just from looking at you, not even talking with you.
Yeah, I agree. That's why we advise the clean bulk. And what would you say are the biggest problems that you meet while clean bulking?
The first thing,
You kind of
yeah,
sorry, but you kind of mentioned some of them, but I wanna ask about those you did.
yeah. So I would repeat for anyone that didn't like hear. So yeah, the first issue is that if you're still going to school, if you're going on vacation, if you're working, anything that takes your time, it is sometimes hard to keep up the bulk. Because if I'm going to school, there is a chance that I might not have such a developed breakfast, I would say, because I'm not going to stick 5 eggs into my backpack. I don't have any place to do them either. And it's similar on some kind of vacations, so I can't really make myself a shake because, yeah, I just don't have these types of things when I'm out. Maybe the house I'm at isn't really having this type of equipment, like literally just to make myself a shake. And yeah, those are simple things not many people think about, but yeah, they do bring you back a few, a few kilograms even, I'd say. So there is a moment that I'm like 66 and a half. I think that was the last time I weighted myself, that was my weight. And after that I would uh, go out on some vacations, go out with my friends, go out, do some things. And at the end I didn't weight myself, but I'm sure that I'm probably at like 63 something, 64 something right now, because there just wasn't an opportunity for me to get this caloric intake. Yeah, apart from that, I'd say that the bulk can kinda get boring, I'd say, because you're mostly eating the same things. So breakfast for me is always 5 eggs, maybe 4 eggs with, I don't know, some sausages, something like that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of hard to exchange these eggs in the morning for anything else, because if you're trying to go with sausages, they have a lot higher fat, a lot more fat than protein, and then you have to eat something to make it kind of more equal. So then you have to eat a lot of things which are really high in protein, not that high in fat.
I mean, is that really a problem? Like protein shouldn't be like most of your
Yeah, yeah, but
calories.
I'm talking that I don't know how often do you like eat Polish sausages?
I don't know. I don't know what do you count as Polish sausages.
Yeah, no, not even Polish, like just sausages. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know why I saved the Polish part.
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say, but like at least once a week probably.
Yeah, because from what I remember, they have around 14 grams of protein per 100 grams and 26 grams of fat, something like that, depending probably on the sausages.
Yeah, but do you eat them? Is it pork or is it chicken?
I think it's pork.
Oh, you see, that's the issue. But still, I mean, that's the problem. Sausages are very processed, and
Yeah,
but I kind of still use them sometimes because I lack calories in my diet, and I need to fill them up with something with fat and something with some protein.
the issue is that once you get these sausages, since I'm eating a lot, it's not like I'm going to eat like two of them. I'm going to eat probably like six, which is like 300 grams of those, and that is like 26 times 3. So this is 78 grams of fat just in that breakfast. And that is around 40 grams of protein. So that, for protein intake, that's good, but still you get a lot of this fat early.
Yeah, like are you on keto or are you on high carbs diet?
I'm trying to eat carbs still because I'm doing those shakes and they get me a lot of these carbs. But I wouldn't call this really a high carbs diet. So at the end of the day, you don't still want you don't want to have too much of this fat, and yeah, I feel like sausages are just overkill in that situation. It doesn't mean that I don't eat them once in a while, but
You know, I think you really focus too much on what kind of macronutrients
yeah,
you get in. Like, I think you should focus more on just the protein you eat, to not eat junk food, not eat super processed food. Try to limit your carbs to natural carbs, so fruits, honey, right?
yeah, yeah.
No fucking candy or something. Yeah, maybe bread when you have real bread and not like fake bread, you know. Yeah, so that's that's kind of what I do right now.
Yeah, but this kind of still come back to what I've mentioned is that at some point the breakfasts are just kind of boring for you because there isn't really much variation.
That diet is kind of boring. That's the biggest issue, that you eat this. I mean, you can change something, but it's still a healthy diet is a boring diet. That's the truth. I don't mean that we eat a super healthy diet, but a healthy diet most of the time is boring because in today's world, most things aren't good for you. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it isn't exactly boring, but you have like one day a week, maybe one day every 2 weeks, when you're like just, yeah, I want to eat something else, like literally anything. I've been eating, I don't know, scrambled eggs or fried eggs for 2 weeks straight. And then you have this one day you eat something else, like maybe you eat sausages, maybe you do something bigger or more interesting. And after that, you kind of come back to it and it's normal, I'd say. So it isn't exactly boring, but at some point you're going to get tired of it. And it will be probably like one day, 2 days most, and you'll have no problems coming back after that. At least that's how it looks for me.
Yeah, kind of. I agree. Oh, what I meant by boring is that it's very stale. Like you have
Yeah.
a few products that you basically eat over and over again. You can change something sometimes to, I don't know, to spice things up, but still you eat those same products, those same foods.
Okay. So apart from bulking, during a cut, we kind of mention it, but the only like the working progress of a cut is to decrease the amount of calories you eat. While you're trying to cut, it takes, I think, a lot more fat. Like you not you have to decrease your fat a lot. That's what I'm trying to say,
You
because
mean
you're trying
what fat? Body fat or?
your fat intake, not like really a lot,
Oh,
but
I disagree.
you disagree?
I Yeah, a lot. Like I think that for most people, let's say a guy is fat, he's not cutting or bulking, he's just fat and he wants to lose weight, right? He's not going to the gym.
Okay.
I think the only thing he has to do is just cut out sugar, cut out carbs, and he's gonna lose weight. Just like that.
The thing is, I'd say that for an average person, while you're cut on a cut, you're going to try to have a lot of things that are big in volume and low in calories. So things like fruits, vegetables, things that include a lot of those carbs you've mentioned.
Vegetables don't include a lot of carbs, actually.
I mean, some of carbs. Yeah, more of the fruits I've mentioned.
Yeah, but you know, I have problem with like plants we eat. So the thing is, When you have an animal, everything, everything what's living don't want to be eaten, right? So I don't know, an animal can kick you or something, you know? It can defend itself. But a plant can't fight you. So it's probably, in order not to be eaten, can produce some kind of toxins. So it poisons you, so you're not gonna eat it. I think it's pretty logical.
Yeah, kind of, but the thing is that, for example, some plants produced the so-called toxin, the so-called things that will make animals not really want to eat it, and humans tried it and liked it because it was spicy. And that is kind of the thing that,
Yeah, I'm not saying about spicy thing.
yeah, I'm talking about plant, but
I'm saying about, let's say, a freaking cucumber. I read a study, I think a few days ago, that they found some kind of cancer tissue, maybe not tissues, but like something connected to cancer.
cells.
I don't remember if cells. Something that may cause cancer in like most plants, like most vegetables, most fruits, mostly fruits and vegetables, but all of them almost. And it's like not that there is one thing in that. There's like 100 toxic things in that one fruit, one plant, and we eat that, and then people are now like 50% of the population are obese out of nowhere, right? Because they're pushing, oh, you shouldn't eat eggs, they're high in cholesterol, and cholesterol turns out is super healthy for you because uh, your brain is made out of melanin. I don't remember, but it's made of a thing that is made of cholesterol, like 100%. So it's not cholesterol and something is just cholesterol. Yeah, so this sucks. Then you have red meat. They say, "Oh, don't eat red meat. It's I don't know, it's gonna kill you." Fucking people used to eat red meat all the time, and then you got introduced to I don't know, soy burgers, and now eat this, and I don't know. Google a vegetarian. Vegetarians look like shit. You're not gonna convince me that a vegetarian is better than a red meat eater. Then you have salt. They tell you not to eat salt. What happened? Yeah, that was a rhetorical question, but it's still thought you're gonna somehow react. Okay, so turns out salt is super healthy. What else do you have? Uh,
I think milk would get a lot of backlash.
uh butter, butter. Got a lot of hate. It's mostly fat. Turns out fat is very healthy for you. People don't realize that most things in our body can be made out of fat. There is a reason why people that eat only meat, so people on carnivore diet, look like they're at their peak health, and vegetarians look like they're came out of a camp in 1944.
Yeah, okay, so kind of coming back. So, in your opinion, while you're trying to cut, you would mostly try to go into like the keto diet, so not really having a lot of carbs and trying to kind of keep up your fat intake and still have high protein intake.
Yeah, I think that people nowadays are fat solely because of sugar and processed food, but processed food has a lot of sugar, so it kind of connects.
Okay, yeah, and I would also mention that during a cut, many people may like you mentioned keto diet. I've mentioned just like reducing your fat because I'm not really talking about like reducing it by that much, just to have just to burn it faster than you make it.
Yeah, but I I explained it in one of our videos that fat that you eat doesn't necessarily turn to body fat. So if you look at an average Joe Schmo diet, what does it contain mostly? It's a little bit of meat, a little bit of so a little bit of protein, a little bit of fat, but it's mostly sugar. It's fucking pastas, it's rice, it's what else? What else do people eat?
Bread,
It's some bread, but some fake bread, right? So super processed food, maybe rice is not processed, but it's a plant, so I kind of went through that already. If you are fat and you want to lose weight and you're not going to the gym, just cut out sugar and you're gonna lose weight. It's really that easy. Stop eating processed food, so stop eating out. That's that kind of uh, gives it. Stop eating pre-made food. So like you bought a pizza in a store. Stop eating that. Stop eating processed, like kind of normal food, but everyone know it's processed. So pasta and fake bread, so not the bread that you get from. Yeah, there's. I honestly don't know if there is still real bread produced in the world. Maybe somewhere, but it's really hard to find. Yeah, stop eating processed food and stop eating sugar.
okay. I would the only thing I would add to the cut is just to not really live by it. So if you're bulking, you can bulk up for like you said for 10 years. Like there's just if you don't bulk if you bulk well enough, you just don't have to ever stop it. You'll get results every time. But on a cut, it has like a set time of period, a set goal. So you're cutting up to set body fat percentage, or you're cutting down to set weight. And after you after you achieve this goal, there is just no reason to cut anymore. And yeah, it is just like a diet for maybe a week, a month most, depending on your yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but I'll say if you're trying to lose weight, you shouldn't focus solely on a cut because you will, in due time, you will feel kind of tired and exhausted because you're losing all of this fat. and I think you should still try to like kind of interchange it with not like really with a bulk, but like a solid diet. So you would kind of like cut for a week or two just to lose this fat, and then like I would put it in like quotas, so bulk, but trying not to really gain fat, maybe stabilize for that period of time, but not lose that much muscle mass during that period. So to kind of
Okay, I think we have a different image in mind. I think when you say cut, you think about bodybuilding cut and like cutting it down to 3% body fat. And that's, yeah, but if you go from 20 to 15, there will be no moment that you feel tired.
yeah, okay, 20 to 15
Maybe
is
somehow you kind of are gonna feel tired because it's the first time, maybe it's the first time in your life you're actually losing weight. Maybe it's not, but you are gonna feel, actually no, if you're going from 20 to 15, you're gonna feel great all the time.
yeah, I was thinking more towards the 15 up to like 10, 9 range because from like I think 8 to 10 body fat percentage, you'll still feel kind of comfortable with it. You won't go really overboard. However, you'll be the most shredded at that time period. I'd say like your muscles will be the most visible before like going really down the uh, bodybuilder way. Yeah.
Path.
So I was more inclined towards like people which have a bit higher body fat, which are trying to go like not really low, but are trying to get out those muscles more. And if you're talking about your situation, so 20 down to like 15, yeah, there shouldn't be any problem up to that moment.
So between 10 and 15% body fat is like healthy range, right? I still think if you do a cut down to between those two and you do it slow paced, you're not gonna just stop eating for 2 weeks. You do it slow paced, you lose 1 kg a week, half kg a week. You're not gonna feel that tired if you give your body time to adapt. So you may need, so let's say you're cutting, but every fourth or every fifth week you're gonna eat a calorie maintenance, not a calorie uh, deficit, but the amount you need to maintain. So you kind of give your body time to adapt, as I said. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I wasn't really thinking that way on a of a cut because I'd say many people describe a cut similarly to how I describe it, so just losing this fat. And in that situation, you have to change a lot of your diet. You have to change up a few of other things. You will feel kind of worse without just eating this fat. And it will be a lot of faster, but your way of the way you told me, I think is in that situation probably better, just like healthier. And yeah, it is probably better if you're trying to stick to the gym, so you're not trying to really lose that muscle mass.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's not a new thing in bodybuilding. It's called refeed in bodybuilding. So basically, you can have refeed days or refeed weeks. So as I said, you're not you don't start eating a calorie surplus for these days or weeks. You start eating the amount you need to maintain your weight. And it's, first of all, in order for your body to adapt to a new environment, kind of, but also so your metabolism don't slow down because it has less food, so it may slow down, so you might not lose weight even though you eat less calories.
Okay.
Is that all?
Yes, I don't have anything to add.
All right. So thank you for watching. Hope we helped you with the decision of whether you should cut or whether you should bulk. And if you want to bulk, hope we
Explained everything enough for you to know how to do it correctly.
that we convinced you to do it the proper way, the clean way, not the dirty way. All right. So see you next time.
See ya.